Hey guys, how's it going out there today? Hope you guys are doing awesome wherever it is you are in the world. Thanks for dropping by to the channel. Truly appreciate it. Those of you here for the first time, love it. Thank you very much. And if you're here for the second, third, fourth, or 543rd time, as I've done this for 543 consecutive days, thank you for dropping by, regular viewers and new viewers. Today what we're going to be doing is taking a look at one of the dunk low lines. There's three particular dunk lows that are dropping over the course of the, I think it was the end of May and into June. And I think I'm right in saying that it's June 12th for this one today. And it was like May 21st for the previous one, which was the Brazils. And then today it's the University Reds, and then we'll have those champ color ones coming down the line. In particular, for today's video, what we're going to be doing is looking at it in sort of 2.5 different ways. The first part is going to be talking about the differences between a Nike Dunk and a Nike SB Dunk, and then we'll take a look at the details on this particular shoe, but then there'll be a little bit in between those two. It's not a full segment, but we'll call it a half. So without further ado, let's get into this video today, all about the upcoming release of the Nike Dunk Low University Red. This is the Tokyo Bara 23 Sneaker Channel. Tokyo Bara 23 Sneaker Channel desu. Mainichi yapsuru no de, mainichi mite kudasai. And every single day from Tokyo, Japan, I bring you content about upcoming sneaker releases, sneaker news, and sneaker reviews. And today, what's in the spotlight is a Nike Dunk Low. And this is, this is my channel all over. If you're new to the channel, you don't know anything about me or my knowledge of sneakers and things like that. I'm like, somebody who knows a lot about sneakers, but I'm definitely not, your ultimate warrior of sneakers, shall we say. And I'm not, I'm not an authority. I don't have every single encyclopedia piece of knowledge about sneakers. So the Dunk line is one of the things that has come out for the channel. It's been a great thing for me is to learn about the difference between Dunks, Dunk Pros, Dunk SBs, that kind of stuff. And it's great for me to do that. And that's why I sort of stress when I do a Dunk sneaker as opposed to an SB Dunk sneaker, that's that kind of point. And that's the first thing I want to get into this video. But before that, I want to answer the question I've asked in the title. I always say at my videos and on my channel that I answer the question as fast as possible because I don't want to just string you guys along. Why is the resale going to be great on these? Why is the resale going to be great on these? So to answer that question quickly and then get into the shoe and just show you what I think are the main features of it, and also that difference between an SB and just plain old Dunk. The reason I think this guy is going to do better than the other two is partially because of the 2005 St. John's. And I don't think I'll be able to get a picture. I might be able to get a picture, but you'll be able to see they're very similar to these University Reds. I don't know why they're not calling them the same thing, but basically, the Brazils were a 2001, I think it was, and then here we are in 2020 seeing them again, and then those St. John's from 2005, and here we are again seeing them in 2020. And then you've got those champ colours that will come later on. But the big thing is, and I'll use the promotional material picture here so you can see all three side by side. I think the big thing with the University Reds is there's only two colours. And I think that actually is going to make a huge difference. If you look back here, you can see the Brazils there in yellow, green and white, even though the white is like the midsole and stuff like that, and the laces, but still it's a third colour on there. And then those champ colours, I think I'm right in saying, are orange and a deep blue and white. And again, the same sort of white detailing as those Brazil guys. But because white is one of the colours on these University Reds, then it's just red and white, and that's it. And I think that's going to carry the shoe a little bit further than the other two. Now, we're already seeing the Brazils hitting the resale market around about $200, $250. And that's after they dropped, a week and a half ago. So they're holding, a fairly reasonable turnaround, shall we say, given how much they cost and how much they're selling for. But I'm looking at these guys and I'm expecting them to do better than that. I'm expecting these guys in the resale, even a week, 2 weeks after the drop itself. I think you'll see them in the mid 200s or even pushing up into the 300s. So, and I think it's to do with just the fact that it's just a two-tone Nike Dunk Low, and as opposed to the three-tone that the other two are in this pack. So to answer my question very quickly, the reason why I think that the University Reds are going to outstrip the Brazils and the champ colours is because it's two-tone versus three-tone with the other two sneakers. Now, quickly into this, maybe you already know this. There's two ways you can look at this part of the video. You could either be somebody who doesn't know this and you're like, yay, thanks for telling me that, or you're somebody who knows this and you fact check me. Please fact check me. I love learning about stuff at the channel, and then if I say something that's not true, I love it when people tell me that in the comments. Now, there are certain things about the Dunk line, SB Dunk and Dunk line that are worth knowing before you look at one of their sneakers. So let's get into that for a little bit right now. And the first thing I want to do is show you what an SB Dunk midsole looks like on the inside. And what you'll see there is you'll see the outsole and then the insole sort of side by side. It's like, I don't think they're actually midsoles and, I said insole, I should have said midsoles and outsoles. What they are is like the mold that goes with them. And if we focus on that midsole there, you can see there's clearly two sections at the heel and at the forefoot. And what they are is a zoom air unit at the heel and a cushion unit on the forefoot, which doesn't appear on the Dunk lows. And since this is, well, on the Dunk sneakers, I shouldn't say Dunk lows because it's Dunk sneakers as a whole. And as this today is a Nike Dunk low University Red, then that extra bit of cushioning in there isn't going to be on the inside of these sneakers, so you're not going to get as comfortable a ride as the SB line. And then also it's questionable sometimes because there have been a lot of variations on these sneakers. The Dunk low sneakers came out for the first time in 1985, and I think it wasn't until like 2001 or something that the SB Dunks came along. So there's a big chunk of history, and they actually tried throughout the 90s to sort of expand the brand, but it just wouldn't take. And the Dunks, being Dunks, it's basketball, right? They sort of stayed in the basketball world, but then in the late 90s, early 2000s, then they managed to push it out beyond basketball and into SB skateboard line. So 85 first Dunks, and then the SB guys came along late 90s. I think maybe even as late as 2001. But anyway, that side, that padding on the midsole there that you can't see, but then when you put them on, you walk around, you realise there's a difference in comfort and also in performance if you're interested in these for performance. But the other thing is the tongue is often oversized or larger or bigger or more padded on an SB as opposed to a Dunk, and that's to do with skateboarding and stability and things like that, so that you've got a bit more, I don't know, tightness around your foot and a bit more control over what you're doing. But the thing with that is, like I say, there's been an awful lot of sneakers down the years, and they do play with the tongue sometimes, so it's not always a given. And I'll start off with these guys showing you the tongue right now, so you can see it from behind, and you can see it is actually quite a thin tongue, which is a signature of the Dunk line as opposed to the SB Dunk line. And then since we're on that kind of angle looking in the back, the last thing that I want to talk about in terms of Dunks and Dunk lows, I think I'm right in saying, is that funny little E on the back. I always give a shout out to my friends over at Pint of Stuff, which is a great channel to check in on if you have a chance. And they're awesome because they get sneakers in hand an awful lot more than I do. And that's my dream, and they're living my dream. So great Pint of Stuff guys in there. And they always talk about that funny little E, which hopefully I can zoom in on here and you see how the NIK is nice and full size, and then the E is sort of lopsided to fit on the back of the shoe. So there's a couple of details about the Dunks and Dunk lows and things like that, so you know what you're talking about, and you know why it's important that this is a Nike Dunk low University Red as opposed to a Nike SB Dunk low University Red. And then the last thing I want to do in this video is to get in on some of those details on there and have a look at, for example, if we go into the midfoot where you've got that red swoosh on the white midfoot section, and then you zoom in on there and you see the stitching. The stitching is actually one of the stories of these three sneakers, the Brazils, the University Reds and the Champ colors, because of the way that the stitching matches, say, the red in some places, but then it pops off when it gets onto the white and vice versa. So the stitching is a big deal on this, and hopefully you can see the stitching zoomed in on here. Another thing that I kind of dig about these guys, and it's because of that two-tone thing, and again I think that will push the resale a bit, is when you look into the insole from above, you've got a really clean red and yellow. They didn't take, they didn't be tempted into taking a third color or a third design on the insole, even if it had been something like black, which would have been forgivable. But it's great that they stuck, and you can see looking down on the insole, and you've got that tongue branding on there, and then the insole as well. That whole red and white vibe is maintained throughout the shoe. Not too far away from the laces. That's another often difference, but the problem with laces is that you can customize laces, or you can pad them out or shrink them down, but it tends to be, I think I'm right in saying this, tends to be that Dunk lows have a very thin lace. As you can see on these guys here, it's like a nylon thin lace, but SBs tend to have a fatter lace. I mean, I could put up the Travis Scott SBs, which I can't even remember now if they were SBs or just straight up Dunk lows, but they had big fat laces on them, so it's hard to say that the laces is going to tell you if it's SB or not. But the laces on these guys very thin in that bright red, but surely there's a white pair as well in the box when these guys come around. So and then the last thing I really want to get into on these guys is the outsole. Beautiful cherry red outsole in solid red. It's kind of one of the few places on the shoe where you've got a very solid color on there as opposed opposed to having that white and the red side by side, which you have in most of the other places on this. So I think it's going to be a pretty good sneaker out there, a pretty big sneaker. I don't think it's going to blow the roof off. I mean, we're not talking the Ben & Jerry's, which are like a 4-figure sneaker, even though I hated them. But they are a 4-figure sneaker now, you know, obviously not at retail. I don't think these guys are going to go that far, but I do think they're going to actually, you know, hold a steady higher price at resale. So if that's something you're interested in, then these guys might actually, you know, earn you a couple of bob or two if you're lucky. For now though, time for me to check out, and thank you guys for checking out the now just after midnight on Saturday morning or Friday night, whichever way you want to look at that. And this is Saturday's video, so I better get away and get this you know, edited and tucked away ready for you guys to watch tomorrow. And if you are watching it tomorrow, then it's today, so thank you very much. But for now, it's time for me to sign off. Thank you guys for checking out my content, and remind you that I do this every single day. And if you've forgotten that, I'd be absolutely appalled. So I'm glad that you haven't forgotten that. It's great that you remember that I do this every single day, and that means that you are guaranteed to see me tomorrow.